Welcome to the My Jewish Listings podcast, the podcast about everything Jewish and kosher, inviting support from within the Jewish community. Visit myjewishlistings.com to find a Jewish-owned business near you. And now, your host, Doron Ellie. Hi, so today we have Neftali Schwartz from Camp Hikon in Sullivan County, New York, joining us today. We're just talking about Camp Hikon and all that he's doing to help kids learn and grow in nature. And Neftali, say hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining. I just wanted to get started with you telling us a little bit about Camp Hikon and how you got started in all this. Like, when did you guys start with this, and what was kind of the motivation that got you to want to help kids all around?
Yeah, sure. I have to say that uh, the manner in which it started was actually quite sudden. Although the idea had been percolating in my head, I guess, for some years. Um, I guess like 2 months ago, I just started to realize how quickly the changes were coming to the world. I mean, I always realized that people were living mainly in unsustainable ways, and things needed to change. And I saw it as like a gradual project to get people on the right track. But then I realized a couple of months ago, hey, this is really changing very fast, and therefore the need is very urgent. And so the camp that was idea that was percolating in my mind for years had to be done, like immediately. We can't wait till next year, and it has to be this year. And so I started to publish my ideas and advertise about it. And the community response has been very, very supportive and very, very encouraging.
Wow, that's amazing. So a lot of your focus is on the sustainability aspect, correct? Yeah, trying to teach kids on how to live sustainably. Maybe even is this like off grid, or like how's this go?
So the real idea is to make sure that however you're living, you can live successfully. And that could be, for some people, that'll be off grid, especially the people who don't have easy access to electric power.
Hmm.
And for some people, it'll be on grid. But for everyone, it'll certainly be a life without so much electric power, because electric power is something that you can use too much of. And if you do
That's
use too
right.
much of it, it's not good for you and not good for the environment.
That's right.
So people have to learn how to achieve their objective. If it's cooling a house or if it's powering some kind of machine, there are many other approaches that people don't think about that could equally or perhaps even better fulfill their purpose instead of using so much electricity.
So are you saying like solar and wind power, or is there like what exactly does that mean? Like, are there other ways of powering things? Like,
Okay, so sometimes it'll be solar and wind power, but most of the time it'll be something entirely different. For example, when it comes to cooling a house, instead of the knee-jerk reaction to install a big cooling
hmm,
system, the proper approach is to think about the house and its environment and what makes it hot and why it is that way. Because it doesn't have to be that way. Many houses are naturally cool, especially if you walk in the um, Churvos of Yerushalayim, let's say, you'll
hmm.
see houses which are broken down, but they're cool. And there's nothing powering them. And if you step inside, they're cool in the summer, and they're warm in the winter. And
Huh.
so those houses were designed correctly, and to give them maintenance-free comfort all year round. And we can do the same thing, but we don't think about that. And mainly because the companies that supply us don't think about it, and they don't want us to think about it, because they're benefiting very greatly from our ignorance about how really to keep comfortable.
Hmm.
And we think that we have to install big cooling systems, and so the
And that's
power
just and that's
companies
just not
spend,
true.
and it's just not true. Yeah.
Exactly. I love that you're doing that. And so this is, obviously energy and all of our things that we use throughout their day. There's other ways of sourcing it, of course. So, getting back into nature and getting back to our roots, obviously this is something that can kind of connect us with, different ways of thinking about how to achieve the same goal. I love that you're doing that. So, like, what other kinds of things are you doing? Maybe it's activities, other kinds of lessons. Maybe you have moral lessons. Like, what kind of things are you teaching these kids?
Right. So it's important to understand how to do the things that you want to do just without using so many resources. For example, even washing dishes. It's so easy to wash dishes with so little water because people, they stand at the sink and the water is running. But all you have to do is take the stack of dishes, put it in a bucket, put some water in the bucket, and you wait 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you rinse it off, and it's all done.
And
It's all clean.
yeah. Well, so that's like, obviously limiting the water usage as well. So,
Right.
so are all of your yeah, activities and lessons, are they all about sustainability? That's kind of like the ultimate goal of Camp Hikon.
Well, because we're a religious camp, so we also have a learning program, as
Mm-hmm.
all religious camps do. But within the learning program, we also have many innovations
Mm-hmm.
in order to make people less dependent on technology, because people tend to feel like it's not that important to remember all the things that they learn because they can always look it up. But in a world where technology is uh, increasingly becoming less available sporadically because of various failures.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that world, it's very, very important for people to cultivate their own power of memory. And so, that's something that
That's
we
right.
do very, very much in our learning program.
And it's funny how often we come into those instances where we get disconnected, and people don't know how to go about that situation. Whether you're hiking and you lose connection, or what in Texas they had those huge power outages and people just didn't know what to do. Right. So this obviously is something that could have saved people and give them the know-how how to navigate that kind of situation. Right.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome. And like, when does the camp begin? Is it? Yeah, I know you kind of bumped it up to this summer, but you know, are there different multiple like dates and time slots that people can sign up for? Is there a certain age range?
Right. So actually, due to the demand, we had to increase the range. Originally, it was meant just for high school boys, and then we realized that there was a demand for young people as well and for girls as well. And so we greatly expanded the program as it was originally envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
The starting date would be June 28th. We have 3 sessions of 3 weeks each. That's 9 sessions. I mean, 9 weeks total, and it goes from the end of June till the end of August. And we're trying to make sure that everything gets arranged in time. It's a short time to open a camp, but because we're Camp Hikon and because we rely less on the built environment
Mm-hmm.
than other camps do, it should be possible for us to achieve our objectives.
I mean, that's kind of what you're trying to teach them. Obviously, this is giving them the know-how how to get from A to B and all the steps in between. Right. So taking
Exactly.
kids from the start and showing them, hey, this is how you build something. This is how you achieve this goal. Yeah, hey, what do we want? We want cooler buildings. We want to wash the dishes, but we only have this much water. We only have this much resources, right? And how to go about that. I feel like this is the one thing that people don't do that they should be doing. It's actually,
Mhm.
we need this and this is how we do it. This is, I love what you're doing. I mean, this is an awesome approach to really teaching kids how to get somewhere with very minimal know-how from the get-go, right? It's
Yeah, thank you.
resourcing. That's what it's all about, right?
Hmm. But there are also some emotional and social aspects of the program because in a crisis, it's not enough to know what to do. You also have to have enough emotional resilience not to fall apart. So we teach emotional resilience skills as well as social skills because when technology fails, people have to start remembering that we really need each other to achieve our goals.
Mm-hmm.
When technology is king, then everybody can be an island unto himself and nobody needs anybody else. But in the real world, when you don't have the crutch of technology, we really do need each other. And so we have to teach those social skills as well.
That's awesome. And how do you navigate those skills, for example? I mean, how do you induce some kind of experience like that kind of brings people together and makes sure that they're leaning on each other and working together to obviously achieve that goal when maybe they don't have the know-how.
So a perfect example would be in a natural building situation. We all recall the story of the Tower of Babel, where the tower failed because the people couldn't work together because Hashem changed all their languages. But in our camp, we will be working together on natural building techniques and building things together. And so, to the extent that we can cooperate, that's to that extent the building project will be achieved.
That's awesome. I love the way you're navigating that. So, I mean, yeah, I have nephews that I would love to send this to. I mean, what's the best way for someone to sign up?
Yeah, so you just go to the website, hikon.org, hikon.org,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of material on the website, including applications. And by all means, download an application, fill it out, and send it in. I'll
All
be happy
right.
to help you.
Well, I'm so excited for people to start signing up and check out your website, hikon.org. This will be running through June, end of June, all the way through end of August in Sullivan County, New York. So if anyone wants to sign their kids up, please just get to the website. And I'm sure that you can always reach out to Naftali if you have any questions. So once again, thank you so much, Naftali, for joining us, and we're super excited to get the word out there.
Thank you. I was really great being on your show. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay.